This cost me £11 from Aliexpress. This cost me £70 from Amazon. This has a colour temperature range of 2500 to 6000 Kelvin, which is basically orange and white. This has the full spectrum of RGB. Both are cheaper alternatives in the market, and I think both are great. So let's compare and contrast them, ultimately try and figure out which one is best for you. I've made a full video on the Demon from Aliexpress, which for the purpose of this video we will coin as the Don, mostly because I can't be asked to repeat YYL91. Throughout this video we will reference some of those use cases whilst exploring the benefits of this upgrade and why I love this light. So let's kick it off with the construction. The Pixel G1S weighs about 3 to 4 times as much as the Don. And this weight is definitely confidence inspiring, as is the entire construction of this unit. The weight difference is in part because of the larger battery, with the Pixel having 3200 mAh and the Don having 2000, but it's also down to the plastics and the internal components of these lights. Despite all that you can do with the Don for £11, and we'll get into that, it is insane. I really don't have much faith in dropping it on the floor. Whereas I can say with personal experience I have battered the Pixel. It's been dropped 1,000,001 times and she hasn't missed a beat. The Pixel does come with an impressive mounting system to attach it to anything you'd like. However, unfortunately I lost that, so you're just going to have to take my word for it. The Don has this internally built mount, which is obviously awesome for £11, but I do see it as a point of potential vulnerability if this thing ever was dropped on the floor. Both are USB-C, which is awesome, particularly from the Don, which comes with a cable provided, but this does also leave us on to the only real complaint I have with the Don, which is that it takes quite a long time to charge. In fact, it's taken me upwards of 7 hours despite having a smaller battery capacity. On the Pixel, it's only about 3 hours, which again is still quite a bit of time, and you can get others in the market that will allow you to charge it much quicker, but there's always going to be concessions for these cheaper products. The power of these units are surprisingly comparable. As you can see, there's only about a 20 to 25% difference from the Pixel to the Don. But as my other video explained in detail, that is still plenty of light to be able to explore 1,000,001 ways to jazz up your footage. Such as a hair light for product shots, for painting the walls a different colour to give some contrast and help focus the viewer's eyes onto your subject, and even using this thing as a key light. The buttons on the Don feel a lot cheaper, but they are still tactile. It can dim the brightness from the back, and it can also change the color temperature. It doesn't take too long to do either of these, and you get a very positive feedback when you're hitting the button. The Pixel takes this to another level. You get very nice feedback as you're scrolling these wheels. Attached to these wheels, you have 3 buttons on the side. The top dial will control the brightness. In the middle is the set button. This is where you can access all the various different features and lighting modes, and at the bottom you have a wheel and a button which will again allow you to access more of these custom modes and control the hue if you're selecting a single colour. You also have the visual feedback of the menu, which is telling you the brightness and telling you what custom mode you're in. Both have a little sheet of diffusion built into the panel, which is going to produce a more soft image. This is generally more favourable for anything that you'll be pointing the light at. However, interestingly, the Don has a slightly deeper diffusion filter. The Pixel G1 becomes the star of the show when it comes to the versatility of its colours. It offers various custom modes, such as this constant change in hue, which is offered in 2 different speeds. It offers a fire emulation, police lights, lightning. The list goes on and on, which really is impressive considering that this thing is only £70. But the color temperature range for the Don is still very, very useful. And of course, for those feeling the burden for how expensive cameras and lighting equipment can be, to have all this utility for £11 is ridiculous value. Here's a couple of the shots that we've referenced throughout this video without any lighting. And despite the fact that we're using the same camera setup, a £4,000 plus camera setup, you'll see that the footage looks no way near as good without having these components, which are providing depth and three-dimensional space to the images. For those interested, I did make a £220 studio filming video, which you can see on my channel. From this to this. A big benefit that both of these lights are bringing is their portability and their size. I own a conventional LED panel which is a fair bit stronger than both of these units, and I've got gels to use whatever colour I'm after. But because of the form factor convenience of these lights, I never use it. Of course, one of the elephants in the room is the fact that this thing is only £11, which of course is its biggest strength, but its biggest weakness. For £11, the reliability that you're likely to get out of this unit over a span of months or years is probably going to be quite low. Besides the extra features, when spending the extra money, you're going to be investing in years to come. And at £11, the likelihood of all of these Don units being made to the same quality and being able to give you some of that usage is very, very low. But for beginner filmmakers to have access to this technology for £11 is ridiculous value, and it's going to be a great way to start a journey of learning how to do some more advanced lighting. But you're realistically going to want to upgrade later on in your journey, and that's where something like this Pixel can become a very, very good buy. After all, guys, remember that buying a new camera, getting new lenses often costs hundreds, mostly thousands of pounds, and investing in a mini LED light like this one for £70 odd is going to make a much bigger difference to your footage. And that pretty much concludes the comparison. Of course, that which is worth more money is going to be better. But if you're financially in quite a tight position and you're really wanting to explore different lighting techniques and learn videography, go for the £11 one. I am very surprised by the quality and capability of this light. And if you've got a few extra quid to spend, I absolutely would go for an RGB light. I seriously can't explain the amount that this thing has made my life more convenient. And convenience is a real thing when it comes to filmmaking and photography, because I'm much more likely to put this RGB light anywhere in a scene and spice it up a little bit, because it's just so easy. Having to get my LED panel out and put the gels on it and find the mains can hinder the creativity of whatever you're working on. And so if you're not interested in either of these products, you should definitely be looking into the benefits an LED light can offer. And like I said, I have a separate video link in the description so you can check that out.